Howdy, cadre. I forgot to check the settings. Oh well, I'm going to try and keep it short. It says I have 132 minutes. Okay. I'm not going to use that, and it would split it anyways. I guess we're doing an unboxing video. That's unusual. I think I may have done one ironically once. I don't know. Yeah, this is more about the Alleyman's Tarot, which I don't like to call a deck because even the base product is what I consider a kit. I ordered several, and they came from Titan Printing, really well packaged and double boxed. But I was buying several of the base decks as gifts, and I originally ordered only 2 sets of the booster packs, and I was thinking it would be easy enough to divide that up for the purposes of gifts and keeping some for myself and whatever. And I also just bought 2 books, thinking I would probably give them as gifts and print one out myself, and so I did. The creator was smart enough and kind enough that they released the PDF of the book, but not with, like, I don't think it's printed in the book. So they kind of released it to the alley, the group of enthusiasts, semi-privately on the forums and stuff. And it may even be in the frequently asked questions if you look for it. But that's really awesome, because one flaw I found with this book, I really want to rearrange it so it's more easier to refer to things. One of the problems is there's all these new cards in the core deck that are not traditional tarot cards, so I'm going to need to be referring to them for a while. But then the boosters are way in the back, so even just starting, it's going to be hard flipping back and forth to find the new cards. So I wanted to rearrange them, but the problem with this is you've got a front and a back that are tied together. So if you were going to take one out of your deck but leave the other one in, you still have pages that you have to flip back anyways. So by printing them one-sided, I also have plenty of space on the back if I want to take notes about the card, and I can rearrange all this how I see fit. I was even thinking it might make sense to print a custom book for one of the peoples I was giving a gift for, because if I'm hand picking cards for their deck, then I can order those specifically. It gets tricky with the new cards anyways, because there isn't necessarily a sequence of this new suit, the Suit of Strange there is, but past that there isn't necessarily a sequence anyways. So excited about the whole thing. This I'm going to keep for myself in the 3-ring binder for use, but the color is certainly nice to identify the cards or even study them without the deck. And it's going to be a great tool for learning these new cards one by one. But anyways, so to the unboxing. So this was a Kickstarter, of course. I read some stat that it was the most funded quick Kickstarter or the quickest funded Kickstarter or something. And I don't know if that was for a specific category or what, but the Kickstarter has finished. There are a few backers waiting for their shipments still. But those are people who either ordered a whole lot or got real custom orders, including the ones that are being touched by the creator themselves. But so this is from, I found this online. This is from Firefly Bookstore. I don't know anything about them. I don't know if it's a brick and mortar bookstore that's keeping themselves alive by doing web orders, you know, expanding to having a good website, or if they're focused on online orders. They obviously custom wrapped this box because these look like hand cut flaps. Maybe not. It seems like it was a longer box to me, and they cut it down to size. But yeah, if this isn't what I expect, then maybe this will become evidence in a lawsuit or something. Spent $100 for this. No, they're doing a good job. So, first of all, if you're looking to buy a deck, I'd recommend that you be careful, because some people may be trying to take advantage of this. I kind of doubt it. Scammers are going to look for higher profile things, mass-produced, you know, products. This is really well packaged. They did the whole brown paper treatment. They put a divider in there. This I don't feel like does a whole lot, but it's a nice presentation, and it certainly keeps it organized. And as I'm expecting, there's boosters 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which isn't numbered 5 because it's blanks. I already have one of those right here that I haven't opened, and one that I have opened and taken a few from. They all have unique backs, but the backs are repeated, obviously, if you get multiple packs. Anyways, so the 5 boosters, the booklet, I'm just going to leave that in there. Oh, I was saying about the booklet, yeah, it is nice. They've put this in a binder that you can find the seam and just pull the wires apart a little bit. They're not bound or truly spiraled. They just go back and forth. So you can pry these open a little bit, pull all the pages out, and reorder the pages. But again, the main problem is that there's no way to avoid having, you know, the back and the face on the same page there. So that's arguably a limitation. So, yeah. Then the core deck, again, it seems more like a base kit to me, or a core set. Comes packaged in its own wrap, and this is such a holistic, a meta-holistic design that this box is bigger than you need. The cards that come with the core set don't even fill up the box, and they do fit in there fairly tightly, vertically, but you can also house them sideways. And my plan was to make dividers. That's going to be a gift, but to make dividers that are wider than the cards so that they will stick up, and then all of the boosters will fit in there too. So even, I mean, for one, and yeah, this has the wrapping space in there too. There's a little bit more than that. So even if you buy the core set and all the boosters, they're going to fit in your box with a little bit extra room to spare, which means you can do a little bit of collecting or get a few extras to add. And yeah, they've printed, even the inside of this box is finished and printed. Such a well-made design. So, let's see, numbers. The core deck, which again is wrapped, these are printed on sheets, and just so you know, all the boosters are the same. If you have one labeled number 1, it's going to have the card on the front, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Yep, I'm pretty sure. It's going to have the card on the front as well as, 16 more. It says 17 more, but I was, including that one. Anyways, so the deck comes in printing order, which is kind of nice, but it's a little bit tricky because they printed different sheets. I'm a big fan of Magic the Gathering, so I know too much about card printing. Anyways, down here, there's a split. I think it's here. Yeah, I think there's a card called the Final Tarot. That may be where the split is. And then Strength is maybe the first alt. All this other stuff in here is like the new Arcana. So, yeah. As far as sizing, well, that's not the core deck. The core deck goes Swords, Pentacles, okay. Ace of Hounds starts the Strange suit. So this is the tarot deck. But the tarot deck this comes with is not just the 78 cards of a regular deck. You also have 13 alternate cards. Most of those are deaths, but the creator has a fascination, or the collector, I should say the collector, because that could be applied to the Alleyman or 7. The collector has put in 13 alternates, mainly deaths, but also towers. There's a second Hierophant, stuff like that. So 78 is bulked up to 91. Then also in the core deck you get a 5th suit, which in the book is called the Strange suit. But the concept is it's not a single object for the pip. These are used to be called pips. Like if you actually have 6 diamonds on your 6 of diamonds, those little diamond symbols are called pips. Anyways, so the idea is the symbol changes. It's an Ace of Hounds, a 2 of Whips, a 3 of Books, a 6 of inking pads, inking blots, I don't know, 7 of Bells, 8 of Tentacles, 9 of Clocks, 10 of Eyes. Anyways, so there's a 5th suit, and then there's kind of a new Arcana that's pulled from different Oracle and Tarot decks, new explorations of Tarot. So you've got the core the core deck, and then the Strange Suit and the New Arcana, and then you've got a whole bunch of alternates. Actually, this is kind of a mix. Some of these are alts. Okay. Oh, yeah, no, I messed this up. These came off the extra sheet, which is specifically for the foil printing. If I get the angle right, you can see. Yeah, I don't know where it's best. So these were on a extra sheet that got foil treatment. Queen of Bombs. I don't know. There, I'm maybe getting some of it from the sunlight. The pink bombs. Anyways, so these belong in one of the two decks, but I'm just gonna put it here for now. So I don't have a good division, but some of these are alternates. Actually, these are all alternates, right? Some of these are extras, but I am not gifting. So these are the alts. So there's additional cards. Anyways, that's not helping. Maybe I'll do that in a separate video. My idea for keeping this is two decks. Kind of a normal deck and strange deck. Well, the basic idea I've just explained is that I want a 78 card deck that's going to function like a normal tarot deck, and that I can start shuffling and start learning the specific cards, even if I have some introduction to their meanings. But I won't have to refer to the book as much that way, or at least I have some starting point. And then I want a strange deck that's going to be the 5th suit plus all the new arcana and other oracle cards and other, and the maybe the stranger duplicates. Like, I'm going to shift most of the deaths from the core card to the strange, or core deck to the strange deck. So in a way, they're gonna kind of function like a standard tarot deck and a sidekick oracle deck in a way. But by doing that, certainly in the book, I'm gonna know where to refer to the core cards, and then I'll have to hunt around more for the new cards. But what that's going to let me do is learn the core deck quickly, because I have some concept of what they're supposed to represent, their meanings and their identities. And then I can take more time with the strange deck, either reading individual cards as I go, and maybe as I get to know cards and really like them, I'll shift them into the core deck, so that the core deck is growing over time, and so that I'm bringing the diversity and chaos that the strange deck provides into this tool slowly. And until that happens, I'm just going to keep a divider in my box between the core deck and the strange deck. And temporarily I may keep both of these in order. I have to go through and filter the foil cards into this. And short term I may keep the multiple cards together. I've already done that with my book. I've moved, or with the one I'm making, my binder, I've moved all of the alternate cards from the back in the lost cards section up so they're next to the listing for the core card. And I think that's going to be really helpful to me, because my theory is that the cards that they split into multiple cards are cards that are complex with meaning and can be interpreted in many different, drastically different directions. And so I think with death, whereas most people are like a little bit scared of that card, and it is a powerful card, I think part of the reason people are afraid of it, if you will, is that it is rich with meaning, symbolism, and possible interpretation. And so where do you start? And so I think one thing this deck does is, by splitting death into, I think there's 6 deaths in the main deck, and another maybe 3 in the boosters. So, and they each get, that's another way to look at it. Each of those cards gets their own entry in here. So it's almost like the cards that the creator wanted to talk more about, they gave extra cards, and then the extra cards justify extra pages, and then that motivated their work into splitting up the meanings so that you can still get the meaning of one card on one page. But since that's a complex card, by multiplying it, and I think they put a lot of time and work into the process of researching things available for printing, communicating with artists, learning the meanings the artists intended, their spin on these cards, and incorporating that into the booklet. Now this is, of course, the collector's perspective in the book, but it's the collector's perspective on what they learned about these specific cards. So the way I'm doing gifts for 2 people, as it turns out, and maybe I'll use the leftover cards to try and do a third this way as well, is I'm going through and organizing so that I can compare the alternate cards, and instead of giving as gifts a whole bunch of options and duplicates, I'm trying to give the best one. And with one of my friends, I sat down and let them choose. I said, these are your options for fools. Which one do you like better? But for the ones I'm mailing, I'm going to be making those decisions the best I can based on what I know about the gift recipient. And, I'm going to... Oh, right. I'm already confusing myself, because this has some things from boosters and some things from the core set that I'm not sending to the recipient of this box. But this is going to be my deck. I decided to buy this. Thank you, Firefly Bookstore. I appreciate the quality of your packing, the quality of your website, the no-nonsense approach to it. I was surprised you didn't have a photo, but I figured since this isn't a product you were able to order a ton of, I think you had 4 copies when I ran across it, and they sold out within a day or 2. Anyways, so yeah, thanks for reselling in a good fashion. I thought the price was fair. And that was my yeah, I was going to say that. You'll want to search for the Alleyman's Tarot if you're looking for this. The Kickstarter is over, and this deck was promised not to be printed ever again. But they did print extras. The creator is going to be selling some. Publishing Goblin is their company, and so you may be able to pick up a box for $50 to $100 to more than that, possibly. Hopefully a still sealed brand new box with the core deck. The boosters are probably about 10 each. 1, 2, 3, and 4 were add-ons in order to the Kickstarter. So as it got extra funding, it got the extra boosters. They're all different alternates of the cards. If you want to just jump into a tarot deck a tarot deck kit that you can start organizing and trading with, the core deck alone is enough to get started, because it's double the size of a normal tarot deck, and it does have some alternates even in it. So even if you just got the core deck, you could trade some extra deaths or some of the strange new cards that don't resonate with you as much to start getting a real customized deck. There's so many terms already for them. Patchwork, I've heard them called mixy decks, magpie decks, because magpies tend to collect little things. So the first 4 boosters have more alternates as well as more new Arcana type cards, as well as some that could see as fitting into that strange suit, or alternates for the strange suit, like the 10 of Attention. And then the number 5 is not actually numbered 5, it's blanks. And again, it's filled with 17 blank cards, so that you could make your own if you wanted to, and they all have their own back. There were 17 backs created for this, so that you have a range of backs to fit in with the chaotic mess of original backs, or backs designed for this in the case of those cards. So, to come back to numbers, so a normal tarot deck is going to be 78 cards, and then the core box you get with this adds 13 alternates of those. The Suit of Strange, which is another 14 cards, as well as 32 more kind of new Arcana. And then the boosters add another 32 alternates and another 27 kind of new Arcana or more Oracle style cards. So if you can manage to get the full set of the core box plus the 5 boosters, I mean, ignoring the blanks, although I was excited to use 1 blank as is in my deck, because I like the idea of there just being a blank card. And if it comes up in a reading spread, then the deck is not helping you with that spot. There's just a lack of information. And it even would be fun in a reading if somebody says, if that one comes up, you just look at the querent, the person you're reading for. You just look them in the eye, and if they say, what does that mean? You just keep staring at them blankly. I love that idea. And if they push you, then you can say, I don't know. Is that even supposed to be in there? That just amuses me. And for that reason, I probably will put, short term, I'll put one in my main deck and one in my strange deck. And one of my favorites here is this this kind of, I guess it's more of a tile, but it reminds me of dragon scale or reptile scale. But I enjoy the pastels, and they kind of look like stone or marble finishes. Anyway, so again, if you're able to get the whole set, you're going to have the so adding up the boosters with the core deck, you're going to have the 78, core deck. Then you're going to have 45 or so alternate cards for the regular tarot deck. And then you're going to have, of course, the strange suit of 14 more cards and about 60 more cards that are like conceived as new arcana. So yeah, I guess I could end the video there, but let's go through this quick. So some of these get the foil treatment. I don't know how well I can capture that. The card, yeah, my lighting. I probably should have a bright light right behind the camera. Anyways, so yes, I'm just gonna separate the alternates from the new stuff. Strength, Knight of Rings, High Priestess, House of God is a tower. Lone and Level Sands is new. Five of Mirrors, the Night Owl. That's a Death riding. That is a Six of Cups, a Queen of Cups, a Knight of Swords, a Four of Keys is a new one. The Moon is an alt. The Masterless Knight is a new one. Deconsecration. Star. Bold foil. Simple-ish design, but Six of Wands is an alt. Page of Pentacles, one of the cutest alts. Ace of Swords. The Fountain is a new card. The Undaunted. The Boogeyman. The Devil's an alt. Three of Wands is an alt. That is a Seven of